April 15, 2025. Mental Health Israel, Seek Help End the Stigma are the news this afternoon. Lawyer Adeoju reacts to NBA Rivers government 300 million naira face-off. Public schools in Rivers State decry impact of emergency rule. Nigerian Correctional Service rejects claims of starving inmate. On the foreign scene, sandstorm in Iraq leaves more than 1,000 with respiratory problems. I'm Ifichukwu Moyele with the news. Now, a lawyer and human rights activist Deji Adeoju says the money given by the Rivers State government to the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA) was a donation, not a loan, that should be demanded back. Speaking on Nigerian FM's Morning Crossfire, Mr. Adeoju explained that several states in the country make annual contributions to the NBA conference. He said the NBA moved its conference away from Port Harcourt because the conference cannot be presided over by someone he described as an illegal sole administrator.
Once the word donation has been used, it's irrevocable. You cannot make a donation and not later change your mind. It's not a loan that can just be demanded back. Unfortunately for the illegal sole administrator of Rivers State, and if the loan were to be revoked and returned, who should it be returned to? Sole administrator that is unknown to law. There are states that are not hosting, that have also contributed, that contribute annually to the NBA conference.
You don't expect NBA to hold that conference here. There is no way that conference hold here where the administrator will come out and want to make one or two speech. So if they do so and trying to mingle with the administrator, it will view them as a bad light.
Mr. Adeoju said this after the NBA dismissed the claim by the Rivers State Sole Administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibogete Ibas, that the state paid 300 million naira to secure hosting right for the 2025 Annual General Conference of the association that has now been moved to Enugu State. In a statement, the NBA maintained that the money from Rivers State was a gift that was not tied to any purported hosting right. The legal body said it was normal for its organizing committee, in view of the enormous cost involved in hosting the AGC, to approach organizations, agencies of government and state government for support. It stressed that such support requested was unconditional and not tied to hosting rights or any rights whatsoever, saying it would not be drawn into any unnecessary controversy with IBAS over this issue. Earlier, the Rivers State government described the reason given by the NBA for relocating the 2025 Annual General Conference from Port Harcourt to Enugu as misleading, uncharitable, and unbecoming for an association. In a statement signed by the Senior Special Assistant on Media, Hector Ibikiwobu, on Monday, the government acknowledged the NBA's right to choose its conference venue, but expressed disappointment over the reasons cited, particularly the claim that the sole administrator's actions undermine democracy and the rule of the law. The statement said the NBA, as a body of legal minds, should know better than to reduce a complex constitutional matter to political sensationalism. It also demanded 300 million naira already paid by River State for hosting rights to the 2025 conference. Now recall that National Executive Council (NEC) of the NBA had resolved to shift the venue of the scheduled conference to Enugu following what it described as a series of undemocratic developments in River State. Meanwhile, the Chief Executive Director, Institute of Research, Leadership and Capacity Development, Port Harcourt, Professor George Ahunaya, says the leadership problem in River State is an indication that Nigeria is drifting away. In an interview with our correspondent, Professor Ahunaya, who is an expert in critical writing and critical thinking, decried the level of abuse of power by political office holders.
The rate at which our political leaders and public office holders abuse power is becoming increasingly very alarming, but very regrettable. We should have this understanding that power belongs to God, and this power through the people is given to a few to govern the greatest number. But unfortunately, the reverse is the case. What we see in Nigeria is power grabbing. Once you grab it, you forget the people's interest and become selfish. Our leaders, they make laws that favors them and their position, make policies that are harsh to the people who get them the mandate.
Professor Ahonaya advocated for measures to solve the leadership problems in the country.
Let there be established in every government institution a department I call leadership consultants or leadership advisory board that will become a think tank to these leaders. Apart from outside their PS, UPS, SS, and all the rest of them. Or we establish leadership institute. If they can take this advice, it will go a long way to ameliorate and to a new order in our system.
In other news, 2 weeks after the heaps of refuse on the median of Iguruta Station to Iguruta Market Junction was cleared, the stretch of the Iguruta-Kocho Road has remained littered with waste. Our correspondent who visited the Iguruta axis of Port Harcourt Metropolis reports that fresh waste heaps have resurfaced in the cleared area. In an interview, residents say they fear that the stench from the undisposed waste may impact negatively on their health, describing the situation as an eyesore.
The dirty is really disturbing us. This premises, easily. When you come out from the street, you want to cross roads, you cannot even see where you match leg. Everywhere is smelling. We are really begging for the government to intervene on it.
As the dirty now, they worry us too much. So if breeze blow, sometimes it go blow come scatter for road, and it's no good. They're supposed to pack everything. The dirty stuff they smell.
It's almost 1 month and 3 weeks now. They have not packed this Omoma. Now only from station to Market Junction. They're supposed to pack here because here is the part of Iguruta.
From February till now, the dirty is there. It's not good for our health.
A chemist shop owner in the area, Mr. Emmanuel Chinoye, told our correspondent that in recent weeks, more infants have developed diarrhea and malaria. Chinoye urged the government to avert a looming outbreak of infection and diseases.
The rates of sickness increased on the high side. Children are falling sick. There is no day or two some parents will not bring their children. If it's not vomiting, it's stooling. Increase in malaria and typhoid and all that. Basic pollution. The deaths around is causing more harm than good to people's health. We are not praying for such profits. It's only a wicked person who wants to make money by all means who prefer to see such waste and the smelling flies. The government needs to do something. The way they litter this place and abandon the people of Rivers State is not helping at all.
Recall that shop owners earlier raised concerns about the growing number of flies in Iguruta, adding that the situation caused a major decline in their profit. And now President Bola Tinubu has ordered Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang to take decisive action to end ongoing violence and restore peace following a brutal attack in Zike Basa local government area where 52 people were killed. The president, in a statement by his media aide, Bayo Onanoga, expressed sympathy with families of victims and urged leaders to address the root causes of the long-standing conflict. Meanwhile, Christian leaders in Plateau are planning a protest on April 21st to demand justice and end to the violence. This comes after Amnesty International criticized the government for repeated security failures and lack of accountability. In the meantime, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, Peter Obi, has visited victims and families of those killed in the Bokos local government area of Plateau State. In a statement shared on his official X handle, Mr. Obi expressed sorrow over what he termed senseless killings, describing the violence as unacceptable in a country not officially at war. The former governor of Anambra State also met with displaced persons, children, and survivors of the attack. Coming up next, Nigerian Correctional Service reject claims of starving inmates. Stay with us.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
welcome back, and now the rest of the news. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has assured that no candidate would sit for the board's examination outside their state of registration. Public Communication Advisor, JAMB, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, gave the assurance in a telephone call with journalists today in Abuja. Dr. Benjamin explained that some candidates who sat the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, outside their state of registration and residence were sent to the available mock centers closer to the areas. In another development, as schools go on holiday following the end of the second term of the academic session, public school teachers in River State have raised alarm over worsening conditions in schools following the ongoing state of emergency. The teachers who spoke to our correspondent cited lack of water in press for heads of schools and the alleged scrapping of teachers' promotions as some of the major challenges they currently face. Some teachers recalled that before his suspension, Governor Siminalayi Fubara had promised to provide funds to principals and head teachers for the day-to-day running of schools. However, with the emergency rule in place, those funds have not been paid. One teacher said students are now forced to defecate in nearby bushes due to the inability of school heads to pay electricity bills needed to pump water. The pupils, according to her, also lack access to clean drinking water. Teachers also said they had to handwrite exam questions on the board, including entire comprehension passages during the second term exams, because they could not afford printing costs. They said these challenges would have been taken care of if the governor was not suspended and had fulfilled his promise to impress heads of public schools. Now, they also say the situation has affected their welfare. In other news, the Nigerian Correctional Service has dismissed reports that inmates were being poorly fed and dying of hunger in custodial centers across the country. The public relations officer of the service, Abubakar Umar, said the reports were misleading, sensational, and grossly inaccurate. Mr. Umar explained that each inmate was entitled to 3 meals daily, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as stipulated in the operational guidelines of the service. In business, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has assured that Nigerian banks are ready for the ongoing recapitalization exercise. The director of the Banking Supervision Department, CBN, Dr. Olubukola Akinwumi, gave this assurance at the ongoing 36th edition of Finance Correspondent and Business Editors Association of Nigeria seminar organized by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. In entertainment, singer Terry G says it is disrespectful to compare him with Portable because he has music people listen to 10 years after it was released. In sports, CONCACAF President Victor Montagliani has criticized a proposal to expand the 2030 Men's World Cup to 64 teams. The plans put forward by South American governing body CONMEBOL have also drawn opposition from UEFA President Alexander Ceferin and the Asian Football Confederation, AFC.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
More than 1,000 people have been left with respiratory problems after a sandstorm swept across Iraq's central and southern part of the country. One official in Muthanna province reported to the AFP news agency at least 700 cases of what they said was suffocation. Footage shared online showed areas cloaked in a thick orange haze, with local media reporting power cut and a suspension of flights in a number of regions.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
That's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. Lawyer Deji Adeoju has reacted about the NBA Rivers government 300 million naira face-off. Public schools in River State are lamenting the impact of emergency rule in the state. The Nigerian Correctional Service has rejected reports that inmates are poorly fed. On the foreign scene, you heard sandstorm in Iraq has left more than 1,000 people with respiratory problems. The news was edited by Onyeka Chinwosu. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I'm Ifechukwu Moyele. Many thanks for listening.
Thrive in a fast-changing world.
Tune in